Let's get a look at some of those features Matej just highlighted that we've recently added to Unity Catalog. We'll go ahead and start in Data Explorer, where we can see all of the objects registered to our Unity Catalog. To get us started, I'll open up Retail Prod, where I know our team is building a churn prediction model. What I love about this view is that I can see that churn prediction model along with previous versions, metadata, comments, right alongside the data that was used to train it. I can look at sample data, history, and lineage, and I can view non-tabular data or files and functions associated with the project as long as they're registered to the same schema. This is governance for AI. You might also notice that with Lakehouse Federation, you can now access external data systems like MySQL, Postgres, and Snowflake from directly within Data Explorer. This is huge because lots of organizations still have a long tail of sources yet to be ingested into the Lakehouse. So you want to be able to permission, manage, and access that from one place. For example, if I want to give my analyst team read access to query this table, all I have to do is click permissions, highlight that group, hit select, and boom, now they can query the table with all of the bells and whistles available to Unity Catalog, like masking and tagging. And in a future version, this will push down all the way into the source system itself, in this case, Postgres. So get excited about that. Now, Data Explorer is great when I know which specific assets I want to work with and I know, specifically what I want to do. But if what I am really looking to get is a high-level understanding of the health of my data estate, I'll want to open up this Unity Catalog governance portal. This will give me a sense of what all lives inside my data ecosystem and how we're doing against governance and monitoring against them. So for example, of my 143,000 tables, I can see that about 60% of them are monitored. They have Lakehouse monitoring enabled, which is AI for governance. With Lakehouse monitoring, you can set up alerts and dashboards to automatically detect and automatically correct lots of issues with respect to potential PII leakage, data quality, data drift, and more. So this dashboard gives us a view of how our data estate changes over time, how we're doing on our governance and monitoring coverage, which of my catalogs might need attention based on some high-level health metrics. And one of the features I'm most excited about, this surfaces some of those auto-detected issues for your review. Now, if you remember, Retail Prod is my team's project, so I'm definitely concerned that there's some potential personally identifiable information leaking into this table. Let's go ahead and open up the Lakehouse monitoring dashboard for this table to get a better sense of what's going on. What's special about this view, where we can see this one active alert, is that we can actually see how this table's evolved over time. So I know there's an alert, but I can also see that that alert only started as of today, which is great. Hopefully that gives us enough time to contain anything that might have been impacted. So if we scroll down, we can get a bit more information about what the system saw. Like this PII appeared in user attributes. It looks like 7.8% of the rows may have a first or last name in that column. Let's look at one of the sample values to better validate. Yep, it looks like user attributes is a JSON string, so it's easy for additional attributes to get added that do in fact look like names. So we'll want to make sure that this is getting masked, and we'll want to figure out how this got here in the first place. To do that, I'll open up this table back in our Data Explorer view. Here, you can see that alert again. We can validate that this column is being properly masked, and we can open up our lineage graph to see where it came from in the first place. Here's the table in question, as we can see by the red markings and the monitoring alert. But it's joining a lot of different tables from different systems. So let's expand this to see where the user attributes column came from. Looks like Postgres. So now I know to reach out to the team that owns Postgres to see if this is expected or if further mitigation is needed. I can also follow the table downstream and see this floats into a feature store, which powers our churn prediction model. If PII gets into that model, we are out of compliance. So I really want to roll this back to a version that was trained before the PII was introduced. And to do that, I'll just look at that model in Data Explorer. So I'll definitely want to roll back the churn prediction model to a version that was trained before PII was introduced. In this case, we can see the latest version, was trained after PII was introduced, so we'll want to go back to version 1. In our system, we're set up to serve the model that's aliased as champion. So all we have to do to serve the previous version is alias version 1 as champion. Great. Now we know we've successfully mitigated the model that we're serving, and we're now serving the safe model. All in all, in the last couple of minutes, what we saw was that the system detected potential PII leakage. It automatically masked and mitigated any potential leakage to end users. And it made it easy for us to understand where the PII was coming from and what potential systems and models were impacted downstream. Great. Now that we've aliased the previous version as the champion, we know we're serving the safe model. In the last few minutes, we saw enterprise-wide reach with Lakehouse Federation, with MySQL, Postgres, and Snowflake available to access, manage, and permission from within Unity Catalog. We saw governance for AI, with our model, feature store, and volumes directly available within Data Explorer. And we also saw AI for governance, with Lakehouse monitoring automatically detecting and resolving that potential PII issue. This workflow has saved me tons of time compared to what it used to look like. And with that, I think maybe I deserve an extra long lunch. What do you think, Matej? All right, back to you.